Dino Peeps, we need to talk about something. Last weekend, a patch went live in ASA that was kind of a mess and kind of still is. Because two things were fixed in the same patch that should have never been in the same patch together because they kind of caused a chain reaction. When they say never push to production on a Friday, so never put out a patch on Friday, they mean it. And I know I'm the one always joking around that if I put out patches for our things, I love to put them out on Friday. But I'm very much careful how we put out our patches. But let's go back to what happened on Friday. On Friday, a patch went out that, first of all, addressed the broken wind turbines, which instead of decaying in 14 days, decayed in only 3 or 4 days. And don't get me wrong, that in itself is a good change, but then the same patch, something else was included, and that was a change that, together with the broken wind turbine, caused drama and chaos. And that was that Cryopods, when they are unpowered, will die. That's how I can say it, because I don't even think that they are now working as intended. So, what happened was, when the server restarted for the patch, cryofridges that did not have power did not have their decay timer proper updated on the Cryopods, and on server restarts, any cryofridge that did not have power, doesn't matter for how long, killed all its cryos inside with all of the dinos. Unofficial people talked about that their cryofridge was definitely not unpowered for longer than 30 days, so for how long a cryo would probably last unpowered, but just for maybe a day or two, and they also lost everything. And the same thing we witnessed on our cluster, where a lot of people basically lost all of their dinos of the last year of ASA. So, what went wrong? I think a lot of things went wrong, and while I don't disagree with both patches, I absolutely disagree how they were handled. First of all, when you're fixing a bug that influences a big change you do to the game, then you can't put them out in the same patch. Especially not when the big change you do is having people lose everything in a game that requires you to grind like crazy in order to get somewhere. On the other hand, if there is a thing like it was with the cryofridges, where the cryopod status would not update when you don't open the fridge, and that being something that people really got used to and people relied on. I mean, sure, you can now say, why would you rely on these kind of things? But people did rely on this, and doing a big change like this that potentially has people lose all of their dinosaurs, you need to announce this. You really need to announce this. You really need to say, hey, in like a week, we're planning on doing this change. This could potentially have these consequences. Please look after your dinos and make sure that you have a stable power connection on server restart. This didn't happen, and now we're in the situation where we are now. My biggest critique point is that this is probably something that was included by a person who does not actively play Ark and is not really familiar with how players play the game. And I think this is a big problem when these kind of gigantic changes are made on a Friday evening, when for the weekend people are not available to fix the mess. So of course, Official had also the additional problem that they opened the transfers of Astraeos, which means a lot of people have been transferring back and forward, therefore they couldn't do a rollback. For our unofficial cluster, we had to take the cluster down after that basically messed up patch, and we're now hoping for a fix for it. And we're now hoping that we can roll back to a previous save file where the cryopods are still available so people can rescue their dinosaurs. But so far I have not seen or heard anything that would suggest that we can do this. I know other people have rolled back their servers to a previous server version and now just blocked their servers from being updated, and hope that by the time a new patch comes that this allows them to connect with their client, that everything is basically fixed. But I'm not sure if this is something we can do and this is something we want to do. I suggested it to our admin. I personally would love to see rather like a server option where we can just temporarily disable the decay so people can just save their dinosaurs, and then we can go back to the normal update circle. But either way, right now this is a big mess, and I think a lot of self-hosted server owners are struggling big times now. And like I said beforehand, I don't disagree with the changes that are made. I totally disagree with how they were handled, that they were bundled together in the same patch, while they both negatively affected each other, and also that there was no announcement that was made. I don't know how many dinos we lost. I would assume that we lost quite a bit of dinos because we relied on wind turbines, and I wasn't even aware that the wind turbines were broken, that they decayed too fast, which means I'm not even sure if we had wind turbines on the other servers, since we do not have the 7-day decay or the 14-day decay like official servers have, so we do not have to log in every week in order to make sure everything is alive and everything is running. So there is a big chance that we might have lost quite a bit. I'm not entirely sure, but like I said, our cluster is offline for now until we may find a solution how we can fix it. But this is a big mess. And I don't think I have to tell you why this is a big mess, because a dinosaur game that relies on you having dinosaur and that you put a ton of time into taming dinosaurs and breeding dinosaurs and mutation stacking your dinosaurs, or mutation stack your dinosaurs like we all do here. Having people lose the work of a year is I don't even find a word for this. It's terrible. And I know on official servers all they can do is raise the rates, but that's like that doesn't even get close to the losses that people had and the time that people have invested. And on our server, we can't just simply raise the rates, because if you lose event dinosaurs, if you lose like Santa dinosaurs, you don't get them back by raised rates. And it's not really a good solution for fixing what's broken. I, for my part, hope now that at least for unofficial server owners, that there will be a fix. Our servers have now been offline for days, and I kind of want to play. I also want to stream. I also want to make videos on the server, and I can't. So for now, this is a little bit annoying, and I hope this will be fixed, and I hope there will be a solution, because otherwise I know my motivation. On Friday, like, I wanted to do 2 streams on the weekend, and on Friday when we found out that this had happened, like, my motivation to even start the game was 0. Because as you know, I am not doing Ark full time anymore, and I'm doing Ark on the side right now, so I do not have the time anymore to no life into the game as much as I used to in ASE. And knowing that I will have even less time for Ark in the future, this is kind of frustrating, because it throws me back big time. That was really badly planned and badly executed, and I don't even have a solution for that myself. I hope there will be a solution in the future. So I know some of you also have lost their dinos, and please let me know in the comments what you have done. If you just simply took the L and just started new, or if you also have rolled back your server to a previous server version, or if you're like us waiting for a patch to show up and to come so we can roll back our servers. Let me know in the comments, and I apologize for this like quite negative video. Usually we don't do these here, but I don't know what else to say. It's unfortunately the situation right now. Thank you for watching. I hope I see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.